My name is Lemar Griffin, and I attend Mosaic Community Church. The earliest childhood memory that I have was just not a good one. It was, my parents divorced when I was 4. There was a lot of confusion just figuring out what a family was. It was a challenge to just be a kid. My dad was not a believer, and growing up with him was rough just because of some of the abuse that would happen, and it wouldn't be physical, but a lot of it was with his words. And hear somebody older than you or that you look up to say those things about you, and then believing those lies. And my dad would just say that I'm dumb or call me an idiot, so I believed that. I believed that I was unintelligent. I believed that I couldn't do anything right to please him. I grew up on the east side of Joliet. It just wasn't a good area to grow a family in, but in those situations that I lived in, I questioned God. I questioned how could God put me in the east side of Joliet, where there is gang violence and drugs, alcohol, prostitutes, just all that type of stuff. Like, there was just so much negative things around me. How could I believe that there was a God in those situations? And then I started smoking. I got really addicted to it, and it got worse throughout high school. I would always have somebody buy it for me, and same with alcohol and drugs. Like that stuff just kind of goes hand in hand. Marijuana was after cigarettes, and then acid and popping pills, like those were the leading cause after that. And it was after a party that I just realized how much I needed God. I had a friend that she overdosed on heroin, and then she died in my arms. And that was just seeing that reality of that, just seeing her die, and then seeing her not wake up was like a reality for me, because it's like everything in my head went mute, and all I could hear was like my heartbeat, and just seeing like people panic and freak out, and just knowing that there was nothing I could do for her. There was nothing I could do to help her. And it was just it was hard to see that there was no hope in this life that I was living, and that there was no hope in the drinking or the drugs. There was nothing left for me, and that if I was going to continue down this road, that I would die. So going to a youth group, the pastor was just saying that we can't live this life without Christ, and that we need him urgently. And so I was just listening to that, and I remember during the last song of worship, I heard it's time for a change. And I just broke at that point, because I knew that was God. So a few months later, I was invited by a friend to come and attend Mosaic Community Church. I remember just feeling like I was engaged instantly. Like, I had people come up to me. I had Joe Brown come right up to me and just asking my name, what I'm all about, and just kind of getting in my business pretty quickly. But it was love. It was out of love. It wasn't like an interrogation, but it was just, he was interested in who I was. Just seeing that, like, though I was new, I was seen. It was just amazing to be surrounded by family that was encouraging me in this walk and guiding me through this walk, and having fellow believers just walk throughout life. This new life that I have, I wasn't alone. I was with people that genuinely cared. If someone were to come into Mosaic Community Church for the first time and not know anything about this place, I would say, welcome. You're right where you need to be. This is where God and his people meet, and we want to invite you here, and that you're loved and valued here, but not by just us, but by God and what he's doing. It's been 6 years, but it's been good years filled with God continuously changing me and who I was to what I am becoming and who I'm becoming, and that is a follower of Christ and a servant of Christ. And that means serving him in any way I can, whether that be in our community, in our church. And serving in our church, actually, it just gives me joy to serve our church. It gives me a desire. It gives me hope that God is still using me. Though I am still a sinner, though I'm still in my sin and struggle in my sin daily, he still wants to use me. He still is going to use me. That has been one of the biggest blessings of serving this church, is serving the youth group and sharing my life with them, so that I can tell them, you guys, this is not the way. My life, I want my life to be an example for these middle school through high schoolers of this is not the way I want their life to be, and that God does not want their life to be that way, that God has something much more beautiful and so much more greater for them, but only if they receive him as the Lord. And I think that's why, it's not that I think, I know that's why God has me here, is my life as an example for them, so that it just points more towards Christ of what he can do with a broken life.